Hi friends, my name is Jenny Pinson. I'm the props manager for theater and performance studies at the University of Chicago. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm going to show you how to make a finger puppet today. Just to show you, this is the one that I've made and the one I'm going to recreate for you. I even gave him a little tail, which is very exciting for me anyway, because I enjoy these things. So the first thing we're going to do is start with our list of materials. You'll want a piece of paper, some felt, a marking tool of some kind. I use Sharpie, but I find that the just a basic ballpoint pen works on felt really well as well. You'll need a needle and thread. Of course, mine looks different than the ones that you've got in your kit. A pair of scissors and any straight edge that you have. Another piece of paper. I have rulers on hand. It's one of those things where you either have 17 rulers or no rulers. So the first thing I did was I made a little template for my cat finger puppet. The first thing I did was I measured about 1.5 inches wide by 2 inches tall. If you don't have your ruler, because again, sometimes it's the thing that gets lost, I made it about as wide as 2 of my fingers and up to just about my knuckle and my middle finger ish. You want it to be a little wide because again, you're going around the circumference of your finger and you need a little bit of room for the seam allowance here that makes the whole thing just a little bit tighter. So the first thing I did was I made my square. I used my thread to round out the corners. It's just what I had around. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted it to be pretty for this video. And then I also just added little ears and then cut this out to create my little template. You'll notice I labeled the front and the back, and this is because even when you try to cut things symmetrically, it never works out quite well. So this way you'll always have a front and a back, and they're also a clear inside and outside. And I used my Sharpie to trace it onto the felt. When you cut this out, you kind of, if you do Sharpie, you want to go to the inside of the line just so you don't have this like extra little bit. And also these will go together so that you don't see that. And so when you cut them out, you end up with these. And these will go face to face so that you hide all of your markings, and then you'll start sewing. When you sew, I'm using just a little bit just so you don't have to watch me draw the thread in for forever. But you'll create a little knot at the bottom. I'm using embroidery floss just so you can see it on camera. It's not so small. But when I measured it, you want to make sure it's enough to go all the way around the whole, your whole finger puppet. So when I measured it, I measured from the tips of my fingers to my opposite shoulder, and that seemed to be enough. So just a little cheat there for you. You'll tie a knot in the bottom and you'll send it through. Now I know that the thread that you have is a lot thinner, so you might not get a big enough knot. So here's a fun little trick that I do. Instead of pulling it all the way through, I send it through the gap there so that it makes just like that. So it kind of binds on it. And then you just do a little whip stitch. Now I can show you a whip stitch, but this camera is terrible and YouTube has all of the answers. So if you want to look up your edge stitch on YouTube, look for a whip stitch and a blanket stitch. Those are the two nicest ones that I like. You can also use your fabric glue. There's no rule that says you have to sew anything. Sky's the limit, do whatever you like. And so then you do your whip stitch and you'll tie it off. They should also show you how to tie it off. But they told me to make this video fast. But this is the basic shape. After this, it's just a matter of decorating it however you want. I used your basic everyday, just markers. You can use the paper that you've got. You can use more felt. You can use your pom-poms. There are all kinds of fun things in that kit. Do googly eyes all day. So I just used the markers and a little bit of yarn. All I did was poke a hole in the back with my needle and then put a knot on one side of this and drew it through. You can also just use your fabric glue for this as well. So I made one here using a whip stitch, and I made a little friend using the blanket stitch it's just a little bit different on the side. And I've named mine Ahi and Mahi because I think it's funny to name cats after fish. If you make a finger puppet and you're proud of it and you give it a weird name like I do, post it to your social media with the hashtag TapsCares so we can check it out. I'm really excited to see what you make. And since you've ordered a puppet kit, there's a good chance that we'll get to talk to each other because I'm the one who gets to deliver them. Let us know if you have any questions, and you guys have a great day. Bye.